Okay, time to start. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this webinar organized by SmartAgriHubs, and it's related to digitization and COVID and agriculture. So, welcome, everybody. It's clear that this COVID-19 pandemic has an impact on agriculture. I think that's there are a lot of signals going around on that. And the question that is within SmartAgriHubs very relevant is how can digitization help us in dealing with the negative side effects of this pandemic? We are quite convinced that digitization can help us to overcome some problems, some issues raised by this disease, and because we were very convinced about that we started already in the early stages, already end of March, beginning of April, we started to think about how we can contribute with our network to deal with the negative consequences of COVID in agriculture. And we did it by organizing two open calls. One open call was on hackathons, on organizing hackathons, and the idea behind that is to mobilize all the bright minds throughout Europe to come up with bright ideas, what can be done, how we can use digitization how we can use digitization for this purpose. The other open call was on SMEs, and we invited SMEs that already have solutions that can contribute to reduce the negative impact of COVID, and to help them, to provide them, to facilitate them, and support them to bring these solutions to the market and to stimulate the introduction of this solution. So this is what we have done during the summertime, and this is this second webinar of SmartAgriHubs on COVID is on taking stock. So where we are, what's going on, and what are the first results. And thanks to Karolína and Francois, we prepared a nice agenda for this. First, I think it's very important that we have also good eyes on the farmer's perspective. So I'm very thankful that Karolína Menclová is with us today to share her vision on the farmer's perspective. And Karolína is representing the Moravian and Czech agricultural union, so one of the COPA-COGECA members. After her presentation, we will go to the SMEs. We have a lineup of SMEs that are pitching on their solutions and where they are now. And then we have a session on the hackathons. And I think the next session in that is also that we have invited a couple of other projects. SmartAgriHubs is not claiming any exclusivity on this issue, so we also want to know and want to present the other projects that are working on the same issue. And I hope we can have a brief wrap up on the session for closing. So, not to waste more time, let's start, and I want to give the floor to Karolína. Please share your vision with us.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? And can I put the...
We can hear you, yes.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, and screen.
And we see.
Can you see my screen or?
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. So, good morning, everybody. I would like to thank you first of all for the opportunity to be part of this session, this platform also. And I would like to present for a few minutes farmer perspective of COVID-19 and influence on them. Before that, I would like to present you a little bit about me, to let you know which kind of information I have. So I will say quickly and easy. I'm not going to follow all of the verse which I have in my presentation, but Czech and Moravian Agriculture Union actually associates farmers from different kind of size, different kind of focus, and different kind of distribution of their products. The reason why I'm telling you that is because I will follow in another slides why this was important through this COVID-19 pandemic situation. What is important also is that lots of my members are in ANC areas, which in Czech Republic means that they are around the borders. So basically, after the spring announcement of some measurements to prevent the spread of the COVID, they were affected by the border closures on their basically on their daily work, because most of them have some cooperation connection with the states around the Czech Republic, as Poland, Germany, Austria, Slovakia. So about the COPA-COGECA, I would like to say quickly a little bit about the GEOPA-COPA, which is platform in COPA. GEOPA-COPA is actually the platform which is the members are the National Agriculture Organization, which are responsible on the national level about collective agreements. So we bargaining with labor unions. That's why I a little bit more focusing on the employer side also in my slides below. So we're going to continue. So from the side of the farmer, we can focus on COVID pandemic on the national level or on the international level. So I will try to say a few examples from my point of view, which I discussed with the farmers through the first wave, because I split it, I diversed COVID-19 pandemic to the spring and autumn wave. And because of the border issue, because of lots of my members really are close to the border, I will discuss a few challenges which they had in the first wave, and after I will gonna put a few points about the second wave and which we actually go through and found some sort of possibilities, and that's it actually. So about the farmer's perspective of national level, about the spring, the main challenges which we can see being a labor source. We had an issue with the labor source mainly in agriculture, like a vegetable sector, let's say asparagus or fruit or hop. There have been issue also with the seasonal workers, because there's lots of work with the hands, and these hands should be not just the hands of someone, but someone who is experienced in, because in the long-term perspective, if you will employ the persons which don't have some sort of value for you, it can be more destructive for the farmer than to left the fruit and the products on the field. So we had also a huge issue in the forestry, but it wasn't issue just COVID-19, but we had in Czech Republic and in Austria, I guess, we have an issue with the bark beetle overgrowth. So we had a lack of the people in the forestry too. So the labor source being paralyzed also by domestic workers, because few people had to go to the quarantine, so we had a problem with the specialist, which often works with the complex machinery, and issue can pop up in the livestock because we wanted to left like welfare on it. So we had a limited movement of domestic population also because some parts like cities on areas being locally locked down. That's why COPA makes two statements, which you can see below. Another challenge is, I will try to be quicker because I see I'm out of the time for a while. So we had a problem with the sales opportunities, so there was less tourism or no non-tourism because of the regulation, the farmers markets, festivities, restaurants being closed, school canteens being closed also. So as I already told, the few farmers have sales directly to customers. Some have main business with the food procedures like dairies, mills, and slaughterhouses. And both of them have a kind of issues. One being it was absolutely closed. The second should be that was a problem with the prices, of course, because there was not there wasn't pardon. There was also a problem because let's say slaughteries in Czech Republic, they've been open, but if you want to send let's say your beef production to the Germany, the borders have been closed, and only some border crossings were open, so the extension of the distance by been increasing by tens of kilometers. So it increased the price of delivering. So about the finance, of course, both of them have influence. They've been reducing the income. Of course, motivation of employees was really quite hard because they don't want to work because they've been scared of the sickness of the COVID-19. The other challenges which we've seen, and it have common with the labor source, it have common sense with the sales and finance. It was also that there have been lots of panic through the mass media and lots of chaos because we had so many different instructions from so many sides. And we try to fit it together. There've been lack of the respirators. The respirators wasn't available for the doctors, so it was quite hard to find at the first beginning the respirator for the workers at the farm. So we try to fix it by the distance between the workers, making the groups of the workers in same way. We try to discuss with the workers to keep them out of the problematic parts, I don't know what I want to say, so I will gonna skip it. Sorry. So, but as I told, it was hard to find the motivated workers. So we discussed it with the students, and it popped up really great project with the university, which I would like to explain you. It was project with the Ministry of Agriculture and 3 big universities in Czech Republic. It was basically make the websites. It was also on the Facebooks and other stuff. When you can respond for the job offer or you can volunteering. It was very nice because it was user friendly, and even farmer which wasn't experienced with the internet and with this new technology was able to add his offer. So that was first thing what was really interesting. Second stuff, of course, they had to find new sales opportunities. So I will gonna go from the spring to the autumn. So as I already told, we had a lack of labor source. Now in the autumn, we can see that we found new things. Let's say farmers found self-collection possibilities. So they present on the website, on the Facebook and other platform that people can self-pick in their products. It's a really new way how to sell their products. Other stuff being that students can, on seasonal work, can go to the farmer and work there. It's possibility now at this moment that workers from abroad can go to the Czech Republic or other countries through the EU, around the EU. So, of course, we had to implement all measures against the spread of COVID-19. Finance, we can see that it has main issue on the impact of prices, and we see lower demand. Of course, in few commodities, we have some sort of support, but it's not often used because of setting of condition. Sales opportunities there are. The farmers started to cooperate with the online supermarkets. They trying to make a direct sellings, but of course it's hard and it's in the beginning, but it started, and these farmers which actually had the direct sellings, which they also delivering to the customer, and the customer they have an issue with the workers because of course it's quite tough job and they need to be really motivated. So, but it somehow in few cases works, in few cases don't, but it really depends on the farmer. About the agriculture and food industry, we've been put to the critical infrastructure. That means that we can work, and we see that it's still necessary to find way how to make emergency plans. If they're going to be quarantine for workers, employees in the animal sector, in the livestock, because we wanted to treat our animals properly. And that's it. I hope I was quick. Thank you for your attention. If you need anything else, let me know.
Okay, Karolína, many thanks for giving us the perspective of the farmers, and because these are the communities that we are working for and that we have to project our solution on. So it's good to see on the one hand that you clearly defined, let's say, the problem areas. They are on the sales, the marketing channels, and another cluster of challenges on the labor source. And it's also good to see that that you also identified some, let's say, digital solutions in that direction. Okay, I suggest we go to the next part of the program, the pitching sessions, and I give the floor to Jovana.
Yes, thank you very much, George. Session 1 is dedicated to it is a pitching session, as announced, and this session looks into different solutions that came from SMEs and are part of our Respond Open Call. So basically, the open call was not initially planned within this scope, and following the COVID-19 outbreak, the project has investigated different possibilities for funding innovations that can help our sector during these challenging times. And we were actually looking how digital innovations can help in mitigating the consequences of COVID-19. So for that, the project has launched the Respond Open Call that was open between middle of May and beginning of June. And during this period, we received 78 proposals from SMEs. And based on after the selection process, we have selected 33 proposals to be part of the online pitch. Out of these 33, we had 8 winners. And today we'll hear 5 of them pitching within this session. We have 3 platforms, 1 digital farmers market, and 1 robotic solution. And implementation period was from June until the end of September, so end of December. So basically, this is 5 months for developing the solutions that are already to some level developed, but we hear more about them. And I would like to start with first solution that comes from France. It's called Wizi, an SME-Farm Mission, and this is actually a platform that was created in 2018. Aim of the platform is to connect people, different people that have skills or that do not have any skills, but they could actually help to provide their assistance to farmers that are in need for labor. So I would like to give a floor to Lorraine Duz de la Salle to present us the solution that Farm Mission is currently developing.
Hello. I don't know how to share my screen. So can you see my screen now? Or?
You should be able to see the button.
Okay.
Shift.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now we see it.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Right. So hello, my name is Lorraine Duz de la Salle. I'm the product manager of the platform WiziFarm Mission, a solution for the lack of workforce imagined by French farmers. So in order to understand the problematic, we need to focus a bit on the global context in France. In the agricultural sector, there are 129,000 employers. According to a study, in 2020, the sector will represent more than 281,000 recruitment projects. Here is the first problem, the candidate shortage. Every year, 70,000 jobs are unfilled. In March, the COVID-19 compelled our government to start a containment at the beginning of the big season. Indeed, every year, 1 million workers are needed for the agricultural seasonal activities, and half of them came from foreign countries. So due to the COVID, foreign workforce couldn't come anymore, and some local employees were forced to stay at home for familial constraints. And on the other hand, a lot of companies were temporarily closed, leaving their workers unemployed. Now let's focus on how we try to add farmers. Our platform was launched on September 2018. Mission is like a digital assistant who selects the good candidates for the farmers. No need to receive hundreds of calls, to check references, to read CVs. Our algorithm is based on different criteria, such as skills, availability, mobility, and other secret ingredients. But with the COVID, we addressed a new target, people without any knowledge of the agricultural world. So we had to adapt a bit the platform, and for instance, we developed a list of skills who don't need to have any experiences, such as fruit harvest. So on the left, you can see the recap of a job offer and the list of candidates selected by our algorithm. At this moment of the user journey, employers can see the details of the candidate's profile and propose them their jobs. On the right, you can see the profile of the candidates. There is no CVs on our platform. When candidates register, we invite them, thanks to a step-by-step interface, to simply complete important information, such as skills, experiences, availability, mobility, and contact information. When we launched the platform, it was completely free for all users. And in the past few months, our team was focused on the improvement of the platform. And in 2 weeks by now, the employers will need to buy credits in order to contact candidates. The system is quite simple and transparent for them. 1 contact equals 1 credit. And they need to use credit only when a candidate interests them. In order to provide a solution even for small farmers, we offer to each employers free credits. We are also working with partner on a premium version for the platform. This will provide advanced functionalities for organizations which are specialized in recruitment. Before the COVID-19, we had a little bit than 3,000 users, but with the emergency of the situation and all the communication relay, the platform recorded a peak of 150,000 registrations in only 4 days. It was crazy. Among them, 23,600 recruiter registers and around 300,000 workers. Between March and June, June was the end of the first confinement in France, 1,668 offers were created, representing more than 9,000 wanted workers. And 7,908 candidates received a job proposition, and more than 4,000 messages were exchanged on the platform. To conclude, the main problem is lack of identified workforce. Our platform provides a solution by addressing all kinds of profiles from all kinds of sectors and preselecting them for the recruiters of the agricultural sector. This is a really simple and quick solution who already proven that it can provide a concrete answer to hundreds of farmers. I'm now available for your question.
Lauriane. I would just like to also mention, and I probably should have said this in the beginning, you're welcome to ask questions to the presenter within the chat box as they're presenting. So, and after the presentation, we'll look at the questions and have after each presentation, brief 2 minutes Q&A session. And after all 5 presentations, you will be voting on the most original solution. I'm not sure I see any questions now, but maybe in the meantime, I'm very curious to hear how you managed to shift from, as the platform was created in 2018 for its purposes, and you could not imagine that a platform expansion would be this extensive and straight to the point to the ongoing crisis. How you managed to shift from the original platform needs to this upscaling need that arose from the COVID-19, and what were the challenges for you during this very short period of time? How you managed to adopt?
Okay. First of all, I think we have an incredible team because during this period, as I said, there is a peak of inscription, and all our developers were mobilized to I don't know how to say that, but the platform crashed the first time, and they need to work night and weekend in order to allow the user to continue to use the platform. So the main difficulties was the technique, I will say it. And after we have some adjustment to put on the platform, like I said, with the skills, because people who didn't know anything about agriculture come into our platform, and they were a little bit they didn't know how to they didn't know which kind of skills they can put on their profile. So we had to put some skills adapt for them. This was the first step, and I think the platform was simple. So for the other part, it was okay.
Okay, thank you. And we have another question. We have more questions coming, but let's see. Let's try to be quick around this. Is the platform available for users in France only, or to other European countries?
For now, only France. With you, we are planning to translate the platform in order to allow foreign country to use it. It's planned for the months.
Upcoming months. Yeah. Do you have any countries on the list so far, or this is something you're working on?
No, we are working on it.
Okay. How did you advertise your platform? This is another question.
Yeah, most of it is marketing, digital marketing. So we have a community manager in our team. He is in charge of all the communication in the social media and our Google AdWords and so on. And during the COVID-19, the agricultural ministry, French ministry, made a speech on television. So it was the big communication.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Great. And this is the last question that came from the audience. So it says that most seasonal workers do not have access to smartphones or computers as they're coming for maybe communities that are not in this regard using these devices that often. How do you reach these people that are not necessarily online?
In France, most of people have access to internet. Actually, like more than 17% of our users came into our website with a smartphone. So it's not really a problem for us for now.
Okay, could be maybe something to look into when reaching out to other countries, but
yeah.
Okay, this will be on you to look after. So I would like to close this Q&A session. Also, if any of you, if anyone from the audience would like to connect to the presenter, this is also, you can also do this through the SmartAgriHubs project and have more questions and answers in the direct manner. I would like then to start with actually to introduce the second speaker or second presenter that is coming from Spain. They're developing platform for, it's actually digital farmers market, looking at consumers' need and consumers that are in search for healthy local food on one hand, and on the other hand, tackling challenges that small and medium enterprises are facing. So in that regard, I would like to give floor to Sandra Isabel Novocanto to present their solution. We don't hear you, at least I don't hear you. Can you please make sure you're on, the mic is on? Still no sound. Okay, I think
now, yes,
it's good.
Oh, good. I think it was blocked. I couldn't open it. Thank you, Jovana. Thank you very much. And thanks to the SmartAgriHubs team for counting on us to present today. I may like to ask, how can I share my screen, because I don't. Hello, let's see. Okay. Okay. Oops. Can you see the presentation now?
Yes, it's on.
Perfect. So I'm Sandra Novo. I'm the founder and CEO of Sostenibl.es. Oh, let me see. Okay. And CEO of Sostenibl.es. And before telling you about the project, let me tell you a little bit about our company, Sostenibl.es. We are born in mid-2018 as a digital network for SMEs in the organic agri-food sector. We were born with the aim of facilitating networking, the shared of knowledge, and synergies or business opportunities between our members. In 2018, we already had a community of over 100 members along the food value chain, but then the COVID came, and it changed a lot, and we decided to shift the focus to find solutions for the most pressing needs we were identifying. So one of the key problems we saw during COVID outbreak was that small farmers didn't have or lost their access to market. As Karolína said at the beginning, with the local markets closed, HoReCa closed or unlimited, and also the tourism stopped due to COVID, they lost suddenly their key sales channels. Let's not forget that most of the companies in the sector in Spain are SMEs, and there are thousands, now more vulnerable and that are facing risk of closure. During the first wave of the pandemic, we saw like farmers leaving their harvest rotting because they had no sales. Farmers having to stop everything and lose their sales, lose their income from one day to another. And I would like to highlight here that this loss of productive fabric, it's not only an issue of economy, but also puts food sovereignty at risk, not only in Spain, but beyond, since Spain is one of the top food exporters in the European Union. We saw also that consumers experienced serious disruptions during the first wave. Not only that for prices were surging, but also it was difficult to buy online in Spain during confinement. It was like 2, even 3 weeks delay in home delivery. So this unprecedented growth collapsed online sales channels. We also identified that there was more appetite for local and sustainable food. This was a trend that was coming already, but with COVID, it made it more visible and more important. And also, it was really difficult to find local products within the current channels, having the markets closed. So the consumers also wanting to access these products were unable to do so. And we thought that it was key to open direct sales channels to help small farmers and SME stay alive. And so our goal was to open a digital farmers market to enable direct sales channels, and also give or support small farmers and SME to take advantage of the growth of online grocery shopping. With our project, we will also, we want to also impact consumers by fostering shorter and more transparent supply chains, because the consumer will have full visibility about the origin and the values behind the food they eat. That project was not only in line with the European priorities, but also contributes to 2030 agenda and is scalable. We had the opportunity to pitch our project in different forums, and we detected that the same issues that we are experiencing in Spain due to the lack of market access was also shared in other European countries, and different institutions had interest in the solution. So we are building the digital farmers market to empower SMEs, but also consumers willing to have an impact. What does it mean, our solution for SMEs? They will have their dedicated online shop within our marketplace with all the control and functionality that any regular e-commerce provides, and also with full visibility of their own brand. Also in sostenibl.es, under the umbrella of sostenibl.es, we put the focus on sustainability. So we are showcasing the good practices that these SMEs have. For example, you are seeing Mi Olivo here in the screen. This is a real SME that products olive oil, and the project is really interesting because they were like recovering abandoned olive trees, which are centennial as well, and bringing job opportunities to rural and depopulated areas. So they have strong values also behind the project, their project. And for consumers, we make them easier for them to access local products and provides them, as I was saying, full transparency, because they will be able to decide exactly to whom they buy and see exactly the origin and the best practices that the producer applies. And we provide also this direct farmer to consumer experience. It's a person, and it's a national SME working in producing that food. So it's not any anonymous, company. And we also wanted to make easier for clients to shop based on values. Different market research shows that over 60% of customers take sustainability into account when shopping, especially shopping online. So we want to provide them with different filtering options so that they can select the product not only based on location, for example, but also on diet preferences or on values. We begin to develop the project mid-April, and by the 1st of May, we won the EU versus Virus Hackathon. We were one of the winners of this hackathon, which was one of the biggest hackathons in history to find solutions to tackle the challenges derived from COVID-19. We were also one of the winner projects in Initiative Against the Virus, organized in Spain by SmartAgriHubs. And in June, we were selected in the response call by SmartAgriHubs consortium, and by the end of Q3, we have our MVP ready. We are currently onboarding SMEs and creating all the shops and doing the testing so that we can launch publicly on December. And also for next year, we would like to explore possibilities to open a wholesale option to give access to HoReCa and grocery stores to buy directly from local farmers here in Spain. Our platform and our project is farmer-centered. We conducted interviews, and we had a previous contact with SMEs and farmers in sostenibl.es, and we got these insights to create the project. We also want to make them make it easy for them to be part of the platform. They can have their shop in our platform with zero investment. We help them to set up everything. And we also, as I mentioned, put the focus on sustainability and to showcase good practices and bring consumer awareness or foster consumer awareness on how their choices impact the environment and the people around. And also gender equality is a core value for us. We have a partnership with FADEMUR, which is the National Federation of Rural Women Associations, and we want to increase or reach also women farmers who are often invisible in the sector. By year one, our vision is to reach over 200 SMEs and to generate over 1.2 million euros in sales, which is direct revenue for SMEs. And thank you very much for having me here, and I'm available and open to any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to you and your team on this great success. And indeed, this is much needed platform and option for buyers in Spain, but I imagine in all the other countries. So I would like to start with, we actually have a first question from the audience. And I'm just going to read it. So organic and sustainable food is usually more expensive. Is this being a problem, seeing the extent of the economic crisis caused by the pandemic that is reduced the purchasing power of consumers? And if yes, how is the sector responding?
Okay, so in this regard, I think it's worth noting that the platform is like, it enables direct sales. So because normally price increases a lot with long food chains, which normally is the case. So by being able to buy directly from the farmer, the price is not necessarily higher. And I mean, I'm myself also surprised because as I was mentioning, farmers have the freedom or they are empowered to fix their prices. And I am surprised now that we are creating a market because the prices are significantly lower than in supermarkets, for example.
Okay, so direct contact with producers will be the answer. Okay. I don't see any other questions from the audience, but I would like to ask you, and I'm curious because I know that there are more platforms of this kind, and I can only imagine that maybe Spain has more than one. So correct me if I'm wrong, but just I'm curious, what is the advantage of your platform in comparison to maybe other platforms on the market? How do you see yourself positioned?
Yes, so as I was, there are like, we have competitors thanks to that, because it's important to not being alone in the market. And in this regard, our platform have distinctive features, sorry. One of them is like geolocation, because consumers are able to locate the farmers or the SMEs in a map. And then, you know, we try to foster local consumption, and this is a distinctive feature, sorry, with regards to other platforms. But also the possibility to bring the story and the values behind the product is also distinctive. As I was saying, the SMEs, the farmer, keeps the brand and all their storytelling, and the consumer can access that. And also shop based on different criteria that are not, you know, that are also distinctive in a platform, such as value, certification, or diet preferences. So we are providing the consumer with a different experience as well. And we tried also to strengthen the user experience, the UX of our platform as well, so that shopping is easy.
Okay, thank you. And are you collaborating with other initiatives such as La Colmena que dice que sí?
No, we are not collaborating. This is indeed a very, very interesting project and inspiration also for us. They have a different model, and we are not collaborating. We are collaborating with other institutions and entities, but not with La Colmena que dice sí.
Thank you very much. We have some few questions from the audience, but we are short with time, so we'll have to switch to another presentation. But most definitely, we're keeping these questions and we'll send them to you, so you can also get in touch. With the
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now we're going back to France, and well, actually, no, the Netherlands. We're going to the Netherlands, and smart fruit packet robot called Rocket. This is the robotic solution, and the solution is tackling food waste, manual workers, and decreasing food availability, all packed in pick and place robot. This is very interesting, and I would like to give a floor to our presenters, Henry Milhis and Wim Spit, to present us their solution.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you very much for inviting us and giving us the opportunity to present our initiative concerning the smart fruit robotic packer. Maybe it's good to introduce first a company of Menclová, and also what we saw happening in Europe, and not only in Europe, concerning the COVID-19 crisis. Company Menclová is already working for 136 years in the fruit world, and supplying solutions for fruit application, as well sprayers as also the harvesting equipment. And we already saw last year, not only 2020, that the lack in people and people for harvesting and working in the fruit orchards is getting a big problem. Mainly also in Europe, people are coming from India, from Pakistan, from many countries, also from Poland, Romania. And because of COVID, we saw a lot of problems coming up here for harvesting the apples, the pears, and the cherry products. And Menclová is working together very closely also with Rivo. So Menclová is more specialized in the mechanical moving platforms, the Plucker truck as one unit, which is already running for 50 years, has been developed in detail in 15 years. And the company Rivo is specialized in electric controls and automation of robotic units, especially for now also fruits, but also in other agricultural applications. And we saw that with the problems in the fruits, the demand and requirement for robotics will grow very quickly. We see very little young people working for harvesting and working in the fruit area at the fruit growers. It's mainly a short period where you have to work in the harvesting period. And we also saw problems during after the sorting and the packing of the products. And this is running almost 10 to 12 months per year. And this is coming up now. We have for the harvesting units 3,000 Plucker trucks running all over the world. And in Europe, there are more than 2,000 units running. A lot of them running in Südtirol in Italy, in the north of Italy. There's a big area where almost every fruit grower has a Plucker truck running. And the requirement for more people to do the harvesting and also the sorting and packing in the area inside where the cooling area is also running. It's growing very fast, and knowing we need more food and people worldwide, global population is growing to 10 billion people in 2050, and the lack of labor and also the housing for people working in the fruit area and in the agriculture area is getting more and more a problem, as we saw in Holland, in Germany especially also. And we need to be fast to supply the right robotic solutions for this. Otherwise, harvesting and sorting and picking for many products, not only fruit, but also for vegetables, tomatoes, sweet, other proper products is getting a big problem. And this problem is growing very fast at the moment, also in the US. So what we can do good in Europe in the future can be exported also to the US. The Plucker truck, maybe we can go to the next slide, is a system where normally 4 or 6 people are working. And the 4 people can do the same like with traditional picking, but we are now exchanging the people for robotics. We have this year first time worked together with University of Wageningen and found a vision system with a robotic arm running and picking 35% of the apples in the orchard from special 2D shaped trees and also special trees. Here you see the machine running. This was executed in only 6 months by using existing equipment and technology which was already available in the market, but with smart assembling and new artificial intelligence also for seeing and the vision system. We worked very closely together with University Wageningen on this also, and the Institute IRTA in Spain, where they already were working on the vision for more than 10 years. And now this know-how we want to bring into the after the sorting lines also for the apples and the pears. Normally at some customers you see about 20 people working for just picking the apples and laying them into a tray, putting them into a tray, packing in a tray, and this is running almost all year through with one small sorting line, already 20 people working. All of Europe there are lots of those sorting lines running, and to find the people and also the housing is a big problem. And due to COVID-19, there was even lack of people. And yeah, you see that the fruit growers are struggling with this. Now with our solution, we have found Delta robots, which can pick up the apples and the pears very quickly and put them into the tray. We need special vision for that, but I would like to give the word now to Wim Spit because he's more in detail informed about the possibilities about this matter. Please, Wim.
Yeah, thank you, Henry. Yeah, like Henry mentioned, together we cooperate for building picking robots in the orchards. Yeah, in an orchard, it's very difficult to optimize the techniques by the agricultural surrounding, like light, dust, rain. In an indoor environment, we can use our techniques much more easier. So what we did is define a black box for the artificial intelligence, robotics, and automate the sorting process. Therefore, we cooperate with 2 companies. One of them is Fruvo, which is an end user. It's a grower who's also managing the sorting process. And we cooperate with Arco, which is a very big logistic company that is building sorting lines. So they have the power to scale up when this technology is proven. Yeah, where are we in the progress? At the left side, the machine concept, and also on the right side, picking and packing pears. Also a picture of the vision technology which is behind. We do that in several test setups. On this sheet, you can see a test setup for the computer vision and artificial intelligence. Yeah, we have to determine a stem position, a pick position, the exact size of the fruit, of course quality, and the post detection, how to handle in this example a pear. Henry, I think you can tell us something about our business plan.
Yes, we have this business plan made up together with our partners. So we prefer to work together with the partners who have already a lot of know-how, a lot of expertise, and knowing how to handle these systems. And we have, as Menclová, 130 years experience globally in the fruit world. So by our dealers and the market we already have available, we can introduce these systems quite fast. Ribo was working for 20 years in other areas and now also introduced in the fruit sector. So together we can work out this system. We use the Delta robots, either of Schneider Electronic, ABB, or company KUKA from Germany. So we prefer to use systems which have already a lot of know-how also in other areas like automotive or industrial surroundings. And the gripper, we work with some other universities here in Holland and Germany also. And together we try to introduce this at the beginning of next year with one launching customer. And next year we're speaking already with some other cooperatives in Holland and in Germany to introduce this system. And we hope to introduce it also next year on the Fruit Logistica in Germany, in Berlin, for presentation, depending on when this will take place. I think this is a small setup, and important is also that we have a team of people from University of Wageningen, from ARCO, from RIVO, and from Menclová, who are working in this field very closely together. And because of this exchange of know-how and partnership, we can be quite fast and find solutions not only for the apples and the pears, because we are already testing also with other products like strawberries and orange or tomato maybe in future, and that will be the next steps to take. I think we are now to the end of our presentation. I hope it was clear. And if there are any questions, we'd like to answer them. That's no problem.
Thank you. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for this very interesting presentation and solution. We do have some questions, however, due to limited time, and we're already running behind the schedule. We'll collect these questions and then send them directly to you to speed up the process. What comes to my mind in regard to this solution, I think, and the key to success is definitely collaboration of different partners and organizations and bringing their know-how that in the end really resulted in this outstanding, at least for me, solution, and the robotic solution. So thank you very much. I would like to switch to or move to another presenter that is coming from Italy. This is also a platform. It's farmers-friendly digital platform tailored to organic food system. It also allows direct contact between farmers and consumers, while tackling a number of market-related challenges from sales to consumers' needs and logistic issues, also food waste. And in that regard, I would like to give floor to David Zimolo to present their solution.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes, hear you well.
Awesome. Fantastic. Okay, so today, I'm going to pitch you our project, which is called FarmSuite, and it's the first farmer-friendly digital platform tailored to organic food system that aims to help small and medium enterprises, farms that sell directly to consumers or are planning to do that, and do that online in an effective and efficient way. I should say something about who I am. I am the project coordinator of FarmSuite, and I'm part of IAB, which is the Italian Association for Organic Agriculture. Can you go to the next slide, please? As you all know, COVID-19 disrupted the normality of all businesses, but also for farms. The pandemic has hampered access to farmers market, other traditional markets, and the bulk of retail sales moved online. This happened though, and farmers often lacked the proper infrastructures, proper digital skills to do this well. Sometimes they did not even have an online presence, especially in Italy. And And even if they did have an online presence, their brand recognition was weak and their online positioning was not good. Together with that, for the farms that actually were able to transition and sell online, other difficulties arise, such as dealing with logistics, managing inventory, orders, deliveries. All these farms met a lot of difficulties doing that really well. Their energies were spread across too many different tools, and that created inefficiencies and waste. At the same time, there's also problems that came up for consumers who there's a big part of them that were trying to look for local, safe, nutritious food, wanted to support small local farms, and they found great confusion in the marketplace. We are trying to offer a solution to all those challenges. Next slide, please. What we're doing is to create a platform, basically a modular software as a service platform that provides value to both farmers and consumers. We think we will provide a lot of value for farmers, giving them this platform. In the back end of this platform, the back end will have an adaptable inventory and sales management system, which will provide tools to facilitate planning, order groupage, delivery, sales analysis, all things that we saw that are lacking in small organic farms. At the same time, we will also offer tools to basically manage their inventory, but do that in a very easy to use, quick way, and in a way that can adapt to a plethora of different sales channels, which is often the case for farms that sell directly to consumers, that sell through their website, to local shops or buyers clubs and stuff like that. The front end will offer solutions to that problem. It will be a modular platform for online sales, basically an online shop that can be basically had different iterations of it. It can be embedded to the farm's own website, but it can also function in aggregate for buyers clubs or food hubs. These things can go and find a product that is made available through their inventory from farms and sell directly to consumers. We believe that will give great value to consumers who will be able to find to buy online with more ease. They won't have to call farms, email farms, and they will just find everything online. What we think will give even more value for consumers is that we are planning to have a general website with a farm directory with all the description and the story of all the farms that participate in the project, and also have an aggregate online shop where consumers can get to know farms, discover new farms, learn more about organic, sustainable agriculture, and buy directly from farms for the first time. Next slide, please. Something that we are really focusing on is the co-creation of this platform. We are a team of experts in food systems, marketing, communication, obviously IT, but what we started from day one to focus on is to build this platform with farmers. We selected 20 farms across all Italy, and they produce a wide array of products that are helping us, giving us feedback, giving us insight, and actually developing tools that address their needs in order for it to actually answer the real problems that farmers have on a day-to-day basis when dealing with online sales. Something that we also will be developing at a later stage of the project is the creation of content that will allow videos or short articles that basically a training platform for farmers, just very easy bite-sized resources for farmers to learn how to communicate well online, and so that they can be more confident in entering the digital world and be able to communicate their story, their values in an effective way and do it independently. When it comes to how do we plan to generate revenue? Well, we think we haven't made an ultimate decision on that, but we will basically keep a very small percentage of all the transactions that pass through the platform for basically maintaining the platform and developing it further. Yeah, next slide, please. Well, we are developing the platform together with farmers right now. We plan to have it ready for February to launch on the market, and of course before have it tested by these farms. So it's still too early to assess the impact. However, we strongly believe that the work of food producers will be facilitated, of course, when it comes to managing online sales. Also, we think that direct sales and revenue of these small and medium farms will increase. Also, we think that consumers' knowledge and awareness about sustainable organic agriculture will be expanded thanks to this. And also, something that we're really keen on is that we believe that the digital know-how of farmers and the online presence of farms will be strengthened thanks to FarmSuite. That's it. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm available for answering any questions if there are any.
Thank you very much. And this is most definitely very much needed, this connection between farmers and consumers, helping farmers really sell their products and consumers to find food during this challenging time. So thank you very much for taking this opportunity and developing a platform to serve needs of both sides. I would like to ask now our presenter that is coming from France. The solution is called Roots, and the SME is Connecting Foods. And this is a B2B blockchain platform which is now adapted to quickly connect producers and retailers and increase the local sourcing of products. So in this regard, I would like to call Colleen Roulon to present, and let me just see if she managed. Yes, you managed to share your screen, so the floor is yours. It's just that we don't hear you right now, so it might be something with your microphone.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes,
okay,
sure.
Can you also see my screen?
Yes, I do see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, thank you for the introduction. So just a few words about the context of how connecting food is relevant in this particular time. So the COVID pandemic has revealed large gaps in the food supply chains because the food manufacturers were either lacking providers and sometimes lacking clients as well. And so these gaps have included sourcing problem, food wastage on an industrial level, and difficulty of sharing data across the supply chain, because there is a lot of data that exists today, but it's in silos, it's in different places, and it's hard for anyone in the food supply chain to have a concrete overview of what's going on. And on the same time, the consumers are demanding more transparency. Even before COVID, there was 75% of consumers stating that they would change their favorite brand for another brand that were to provide more information about how the product was made, how it was manufactured, and so on. And there's only 33% of the consumers today that trust the origin of their food, and this number is decreasing. So the COVID-19 crisis has increase these trends, making consumers even more scared when they shop for food, and addressing more and more importance to local sourcing, local food, and getting to know really who is behind the food, what type of agriculture is it encouraging, and so on. So to respond to these two main challenges, the Connecting Food platform is a blockchain-based solution that provides full transparency from the farm to the fork. So the way our platform was designed initially is in order for agri-food actors to keep track of everything that come in and out of each step of the supply chain, in order, in the end, to, well, first have a B2B dashboard to have instant access to all traceability and quality information, but also to be able to print a QR code on the product's back in order for consumers to scan it and discover who is really behind the product, what's inside this product, and to go beyond the ingredients list and to really know, okay, in that pack of sliced bread, there is wheat. Where does it come from? Who produced it? How much this person was paid for, and so on. So this is our solution. This is the Connecting Food platform, and what we have designed specifically that we call Roots is a kind of a twist to our platform to serve other needs. And so just to tell you very quickly about how we reconnect the food supply chain, we leverage existing traceability data in every step of the supply chain in order to provide end-to-end traceability for all production. We also digitally audit the supply chain information, and this is in real time, meaning in logistic time, every time something moves along the chain, to ensure that the product promises are respected for every single batch. And the third thing to know is that we use blockchain as a trusted third party. The blockchain that we use is called Hyperledger. It's the most used in business application. And the goal of using blockchain is to tamper-proof the information and to be able to share the information across the supply chain in the B2B world. So what we have designed is the Roots module, which is based on our platform, and it works in this way. So the first step is that producers give access to their delivery forms that they have for the retailers. On our platform Roots, we record it in order for the retailers to get the proof of the origin of the production. So the producers can produce, I don't know, apple, meat, grains. It can be any type of food production. And then the data is showcased in three ways. The first way is internally using the Connecting Food dashboard. This is not something very different from the regular platform, let's say. The second thing is through a B2C web app. So this is for the consumer that they can scan a QR code and see where the product is from. And the third way is a B2B portal in order to share information between retailers and producers. So the goal of all that is to get the proof for the consumers when they are at a local store, at a retail store, that is, for instance, displaying my apples come from that country and my pears from that other country and my oranges from that other country. How can you be sure as a consumer, and specifically in times of pandemic, when the goods move in a different ways because the transportation system is affected and so on? With the Connecting Food platform, you get access to real-time data about the specific batch of products that are in your store at that particular time. And so you scan the QR code and you get the list of all the suppliers that delivered this specific store on that specific day. And if you go back to the store a few days after and you scan the QR code again, you will not get the same data. So this is really the shift from advertising something, putting off a picture of a food producer and saying, come to my store and you get local products, which is a promise, and the digital era that we enable our clients to enter, when you scan the QR code and you get access to the real data behind the product, which is able to give the consumers the proof of what's really inside the products. So our platform is a hub, and our business model is an annual subscription. So here on this slide, you just have a sample of our clients who range from upstream actors to brands and retailers. So in the upstream actors, you have more in the farming world with cooperatives and so on. And on the right side, on the brands and retailer side, you can see some major industrial food groups that are already using our solution to keep track of their food production and showcase the traceability of their products to the consumer. So all these clients, they pay us an annual subscription to use the platform. And the good news is that there is no extra cost for the consumer web app, meaning once your products are tracked and audited by the Connecting Food platform, it doesn't matter if you want to showcase it to the consumer or not. If you want to showcase it, we won't charge you any additional fee because we believe it's our duty to bring this transparency to the consumer. So our impact range on very different levels across the food supply chain, but we like to say that we have a positive impact on the farmer level because we showcase their good practices and we reward them for their work, and we help them gain visibility towards retailers. On the industrial level, we increase food safety. We enable our clients to get real-time alerts in case something goes wrong in the chain. We reduce product recalls, and we tend towards operational excellence. And for the consumers, well, we rebuild trust within the food chain. Until then, we help consumer make safe and fair shopping choices, which is not always easy when you're in a supermarket. And the blockchain that we use that acts as a trusted third party is the most suitable for business, but also the one with the lowest carbon footprint, which is very important when we're talking about blockchain, because as some of you might know, public blockchain are responsible for a lot of energy consumption. So that was very important for us to keep this one low. So this is the end of my presentation. I will be happy to answer your questions if we have time. And if not, you have my my email and my phone number on the screen right now. So please feel free to drop me an email or add me on LinkedIn if you wish to know something more about Connecting Food.
Thank you very much, Colleen. Unfortunately, we're running behind the time now, and yes, thank you for your presentation, and thank you all once again for presenting. Now I'd like to invite the audience to vote for the most original solution. The winner will receive additional visibility, support, or let's say from the SmartAgriHubs project on our social media and the newsletter. So yes, on your screen you have a question. Which pitch is the most innovating? Please select one. It was by this order also presented. Okay, people are voting. 50% approximately voted by now, so we'll give another few seconds. So the most innovating solution. Some of them are similar, but very much indeed then again different. But most definitely targeting the most, let's say, burning needs on the market. Okay, I think we can close the voting session now. We have obvious advantage of the last presentation, which is the roots. So I would like to congratulate to Colleen for winning this pitch, and we'll promote your company and the solution through our network in the upcoming months. So congratulate to, and congratulations to all. And now we would really need to switch to another session, and I would like to give floor to our moderator to take over. Thank you.
Welcome to session 2. We're running a little bit out of time, but so my session is about the hackathon opportunities across Europe. To switch screens here. Good. My name is Frank Berkers. I work for TNO on the Strategic Business Analysis Department, and my role in SmartAgriHubs is to lead work package 4 on Digital Innovation Hub capability management. The agenda for this session is to introduce you to the respond call for Digital Innovation Hubs and provide you an overview with the granted hackathons. We have pitches of 5 different hackathons, and the purpose of that is to give you some insight in what's happening there to inspire you. We will also engage in a small Q&A with these hackathons, and you are invited to send us questions to engage in this Q&A, and then we'll look forward to future opportunities for collaboration. Good. The response call for Digital Innovation Hubs requested hackathon type of activities, and we were able to fund them with 10 to 30K of requested funding. The call was closed on June 3rd, and we got 31 proposals, and of which we could grant 13. So this is the first wave there. All right, I will briefly introduce these, hackathons. The first one is Farm Hack. It's a hackathon in regional cluster Northwest Europe. Innovations generated to hackathon tackling. Innovate is organizing Farm Hack, a hackathon that will take place virtually on November 20th and 21st, and it's carried out with our support. The hackathon will tackle different challenges related to the resilience of the agri-food sector in the current situation, and it's still open for registration of participants and reception of specific challenges. The second hackathon is in UK and Ireland, and it's resilience through automation, radar. Agri EPI Center, Digital Innovation Hub, organized a hackathon in the scope of the project, resilience through automation and digital acceleration in response to COVID-19. The hackathon addressed to the UK agricultural sector took place already in September 23rd to 25th, and was organized in 2 different challenges. And challenge 1, the digital diagnosis, is won by VAT Access, a training for the farmer, data integration, triage information, requests on callbacks, and scheduling in real-time video calls with veterinarians. The second challenge, automating field operations for horticulture, and OrcaBot 1. This is a solar-powered, zero-emission crop scouting and weeding robot. The third one is in France. It's about short food supply chains, and it's called Food Log Proximity. Agri-Südwest Digital Innovation Hub, in cooperation with Digital 113 and We4Lag clusters, is organizing a maturity workshop in the Aquitaine region in the scope of the Food Lab Proximity project. The team is now looking for challenges to be tackled by the participating teams in the Idea Day that will be held on November 13th. So that's next week. Challenges provided are requested to still define their logistics related challenges. In the southwest of Europe, we have the Farm to Fork hack on sustainable food production. ITC and DIH Agri-Food in Slovenia are organizing the Farm to Fork hack, hacking sustainable, safe, and environmentally friendly food production and supply in Southeast Europe as a fight against the pandemic scenarios in an open call and mentorship program. In scope of this project, a pitching event will be held on November 24th on new technologies in agriculture. From this, 15 solution providers will be selected for further mentoring by experts. Number 5 is organized in Italy. It's the management of food surplus, Hack for Food. Innova Co-op Digital Innovation Hub organized a hackathon in the scope of the project Hack for Food to Feed the Future. The online hackathon addressed the Italian Emilia-Romagna region agricultural sector and has a winning project. It's called Squisseed. Through a digital marketplace, Squisseed help large companies to sell food surpluses due to constraints or inefficient warehouses, especially in the COVID period, offering them at advantageous prices to the HoReCa sector, transforming disposal taxes and waste into profit. The selected team will receive mentoring and matchmaking support. 6. In Central Europe, short food chains, 3F or Future of Farm to Fork, the Toruń Regional Development Agency in Poland is organizing a hackathon in the scope of the project Future of Farm to Fork. Digital solutions for short food chains that is supported by the open call. Potential challenges for the hackathon have already been identified in the previous workshop with relevant stakeholders coming to the following 4 challenges. 1. How can we ensure you the access to larger quantities of high quality food delivered directly to your doorstep? Challenge 2. How can we inform consumers about suppliers offering different regional products? Challenge 3. How to help farmers sell their products, taking into account legal restrictions and lack of time for marketing and promotion. And challenge 4. How could we provide consumers with access to a constantly updated offer with the presentation of real products? During this hackathon, those 4 challenges will be presented. Participating teams can still enter. Number 7. Hey, something's happening. Okay, good. Yes, number 7, it's the Southeast Europe hackathon. It's agri-food hacking. APAR, as a digital innovation hub, will have this hackathon on November 13 to 15, the first hackathon in Romania. HAR 2020, dedicated to improving the agri-food sector, is organizing this. Organizers have now an open call for this and for subscription in the participation in the following challenges: digital tools for the innovative use of quality agri-food products, short supply chains, quality screens, etc. Second, ensuring blockchain in securing information related to the traceability of quality agri-food products, digital solutions to combat unfair practices on dual quality of agri-food products, and D, innovative digital tools for the use of IoT and satellite imagery in order to reduce administrative costs related to the process of addressing agricultural production, damage caused to farmers following natural disasters. Then number 8, it's the LL2 Fresh, shelf life optimization in regional cluster Iberia. LL2 Fresh is an online co-creation program coordinated by COTHN and Inestec in Portugal. And it is it targets on the optimization of shelf life food. The program is seeking for innovative solutions to foster development of innovative value chains, novel packaging solutions, food treatment methods, and the next generation additives. It will select 10 projects that set a hands-on approach to unclose the novel solutions. Solutions were gathered until October 18, targeting the following 4 challenges: packaging materials and structures, conservation, security and communications, and food supply chain and business model innovation for sustainable agri-food. From this, 3 distinctive projects will receive mentoring services and access to an exclusive network of stakeholders and experts, and a lump sum of 2,400 euros. The hackathon, another hackathon in France, the local food chains resilience to COVID-19, or the local food hack. The hackathon will tackle challenges derived from the stresses and restrictions in food supply chains generated to COVID-19, such as strategies for fostering local food consumption, diversification of activities for agricultural producers, smart resource planning for agri-food chain actors. Anyone can join this hackathon to identify and propose solutions for these challenges. Just a few more. And then we have hackathon number 10 in Central Europe, Agri-Food Economy Solutions, COVID-19 Inspire Hackathon 2020. Plan for All is organizing the COVID-19 Inspire Hackathon, which is following the Inspire model. It consists of a series of events designed to exploit the achieved results of previous hackathons on developing new innovations. Several challenges and their mentors are already identified, and anyone can still join the challenges. A series of webinars is dedicated to better understand the purpose and procedure of solving individual innovation experiments. All the teams that participate in this hackathon will be invited to present their project results during the final virtual event of the hackathon that will be organized in mid-November, so also soon. Then 11, in Iberia, the Sustainable Supply Chain, or the Agrotech Awards. ITK and Andalusia Agrotech, together with the Polo of Digital Contents of Malaga in Spain, are organizing the Agrotech Awards Challenge, a call for safe solutions for sustainable supply and distribution channels. It was open until the 26th of October. The selected finalist ideas will be presented in the format of a project to select the challenge winners. That will be selected on the final virtual meeting taking place November 16th. The winner solution will get a monetary prize of 15,000 euros for further deployment and implementation. 2 more. We have the Agri-Island Hackathon organized by CD Hub. And this will bring forward technological solutions that respond to main issues affecting the islands, for instance, on soils and resources. And the last one, that's Hack 20 by Agri-Food Lithuania. And for this, the focus on improved remote and non-contact solutions for farmers, local food supply chains, and associated stakeholders. So, in a nutshell, I presented to you 13 different hackathons that were the result of this first response for digital innovation hubs, control. And in the next section, yes, we will discuss 5 of these. In the chat, you can provide us with questions. We can discuss later after the pitch presentations of the Digital Innovation Hubs and the hackathons. All right. So up next is a sequence of 5 different pitches. The first one is Innova Co-op by Elisa Terrassi on the hack for food. Second is Plan for All by Hanna Kubichova on the Inspire Hackathon. Thirdly, the Agri-EIP Center. Rebecca Lewis will present the radar. Fourth will be ITC or DIH agri-food from Slovenia. Daniel Kopot will present the Farm to Fork hack. And the 5th one is ITK and Andalusia Agrotech and Polo, represented by Marta Alvarez Leal, representing the Agrotech Awards. The pitches will focus on what is the hackathon trying to solve, who is organizing it, and what is unique about this organization, how is it organized, and specifically also, what are you very proud of, and what would you like to ask the audience in a very quick run through. I would ask Elisa to take over the mic and cue me whenever to click.
Okay, thank you, Frank. I will try to respect the timeline. If not, please cut me. Hello, everyone, and thanks for inviting us. I will present you today our project Hack for Food to Feed the Future. Frank has already introduced you to the main features of our project. Our project organized a 2 days online hackathon on last 9 and 10 October. Our project is focusing on the research of digital innovation to achieve a more integrated value chain in the agri-food sector in our region. And in particular, we address 3 challenges: efficiency, transparency, and traceability of the food, loss and waste prevention, and secure access to the food surplus, in particular for the most fragile categories of population affected by the COVID pandemic, like, for example, the elderly people. Next one, please. Who is organizing and what is unique? I think that our added value is our capacity to mobilize the regional ecosystem of key players. In particular, the partnership is composed by 3 organizations. I'm speaking today on behalf of the leader organization, which is Innovacop, which is a society belonging to the regional cooperative association of cooperative enterprises in Emilia-Romagna, and we support cooperative business in their path through forward innovation and sustainability. Our partners are BIREX, which is one of the 8 competence centers created by the Ministry of Economic Development, and which is specialized on big data, and also Future Food Institute, which is a network who organizes a wide range of initiatives related to sustainability and food sustainability in particular. And we also mobilize a lot of key players like Innovate and agri-food clusters from our region. We are also part of PICO, which is the digital innovation hub of the Italian cooperative movement, supporting cooperatives in digitalization. And of course, the main results and solutions carried out and experimented through our project will benefit our reference end users, which are the cooperatives, the cooperative enterprises based in our region. Next, please. As I said just before, we have organized 2 days online hackathons. First, we had launched a call for ideas at the beginning of September, and afterwards we identified 10 teams composed by researchers, business players from startups, university students. During these 2 days online hackathon, we had 3 main, let's say, steps: team working, project creation, and award. During the team working, the 10 teams organized their solution and ideas through different methods and materials that were provided to us, like business model canvas, tools to make benchmarking, and also team canvas. During the project creation, the teams could meet some mentors, could also hear some inspirational speeches given by speakers identified by our organization, and could also hold some peer-to-peer sessions in order to compare their ideas and the evolution of their ideas with the other ones. And finally, there was also an award session, which is carried out by a jury composed by 5 people from the research entities and also business players and business associations from our region. The winner was SmartAgriHubs. SmartAgriHubs is proposing a digital marketplace, trying to match the demand and offer of food surplus from the big food industry and the big food providers and the HoReCa sector. So what's the process? Through the online platform, products that are next to expiration date, but that are still good to be consumed, but not good enough to be consumed through the large-scale distribution, can be sold, and they can be sold at a discount price of 50% compared to the list price, and the transaction, let's say the value is represented by the remaining 50% of cost that represent the transaction and the value, so for the SmartAgriHubs. The stage of the process now is the matching phase. So what we are trying to do now is to present the ideas of the winners, and in particular of SmartAgriHubs, because we finally had 3 winners, to a group of identified stakeholders, and we have identified 10 stakeholders so far among our business, but also in the wider, let's say, ecosystem represented by the cluster in our region. So we will try to, let's say, draw the attention of our cooperative society to the solutions that have been suggested, and we will also accompany SmartAgriHubs through specific mentoring services for the development of their ideas. Next, please, even if I think that my time is already finished. This is just the presentation of one tool that was used during the hackathon. This is the business model canvas, in which SmartAgriHubs and every team presented very briefly the key partners, key activities, value proposition, etc., contained in their ideas. And next one, please. And they also presented the MVP of their idea, in this case, the web platform through which they would connect the big food industry with the HoReCa sector. And these will be also connected to, next one please, some interactive tools like, for example, Telegram, and in the last slide we will see also Messenger. And in this MVP, you can see a simulation of the interaction that would take place between, let's say, a player using the platform. So, for example, the food provider or the player in the HoReCa sector, and the interaction that would take place with the sale manager, the virtual sale manager. So this is how the idea would roughly work. And I hope that in the time I had, my presentation was clear enough, but I'm of course available for any further question and curiosity you may have.
Yes, please provide those questions in the chat so we can look at that when we have the joint Q&A. Now I'd like to give the mic to Hanna Kubichkova of Plan for All to introduce us to the Inspire Hackathon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Frank, for your nice introduction. Again, my name is Hanna Kubichkova, and it's my pleasure to be here on behalf of Plan for All Association and tell you, at least in brief, about this event. The COVID-19. Yeah, I will wait for slides. Okay, thank you. The COVID-19 Inspire Hackathon is already the 17th hackathon organized by the Plan for All Association, and this time in cooperation with Czech Center for Science and Society and other Horizon 2020 projects where Plan for All is involved in. It is based on the traditional model of the Inspire Hackathon, which is not a single event, it's a process. Actually, it means that it is designed to exploit achieved results of previous hackathons on developing new innovations. As the title of the hackathon suggests, the main goal of the COVID-19 Inspire Hackathon is to help agriculture recover from the problems that were caused by the coronavirus crisis, search for new business models, and support innovation in agriculture through information technology. While defining the innovation experiments for this hackathon, our goal was to make the definition of innovation experiments for this hackathon as open as possible. And therefore, we announced the call for innovation experiments proposals in the mid-July. Click, please. Through this open call, previous one, sorry. Okay, thank you. Through this open call, we aim to give the opportunity to the public to define the innovation experiments related to agri-food economy challenges that arose during the pandemic. Overall, 13 innovation experiments were identified for this hackathon, and they are addressing the topics like facilitating access to data and services for an easier digital innovation in agri-food sectors, educating individuals from other sectors for being able to support agri-food business in the crisis, forecasting of regional food supplies, deviations and shortages, and last but not least, regional matching of offer and demand for fresh produce in decentralized settings. All innovation experiments are listed at Plan for All websites, where you can also find the midterm reports, which were written by all 13 teams after 1 month of hacking. Currently, we have more than 120 participants coming from Europe, Africa, and United States, which we considered as a great success. In this hackathon, 20 mentors are mentoring 13 teams. During the past Inspire Hackathon series, we recognized that the work of such virtual teams to have such mentors is necessary. Click. Thank you. The concept of the COVID-19 Inspire Hackathon has elements that complement each other. The first one is community. We are proud that today Inspire Hackathon movement has formed a large global community that gathers together smart agriculture, agri-food system, and geospatial experts and many supporters. Then it's tools and applications which are developed during the hackathons and are available as an open source software. Then it's data, know-how and skills, reuse of results, and long time frame. The COVID-19 Inspire Hackathon is organized as a fully virtual hackathon consisting of 5 main stages. We are currently at the end of so-called hacking stage, and teams are preparing for the final presentation of hackathon results that is scheduled on the 19th of November, where you are cordially invited, of course. The registration page is in the process and will be published during this week at Plan for All websites. So stay tuned and register for this final event. And click, please. Next one.
All right.
Next. Okay, thank you. And what helps us to connect registrants to the information, tools, and applications is the Plan for All Digital Innovation Hub. This connection is done firstly by integrating principles of social media like blog, forum, designed science shop, which enables connection of users with developers and researchers, and secondly by integrating different types of demos and applications where hackathon participants have a chance to cooperate, test different applications, download open data. They have also tools for development of new applications, and it also acts like a knowledge transfer that facilitates communication and dissemination. Click. Besides the Plan for All Digital Innovation Hub and social media, 14 hackathon partners are helping us with the publicity of the hackathon. You can see them all on this slide. And the time for my presentation has filled up, so I would like to thank you for your attention. And I believe we will meet you during the final virtual hackathon event. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Anna. I'd like now to invite Rebecca Lewis of the Agri-AP Center to explain about the Radar Hackathon.
Thank you, Frank. So I'd like to just present the hackathon that we organized at Agri-AP Center, which was resilience through automation and digital acceleration in response to COVID-19, which otherwise known as RADAR. Next slide, please, Frank. So just very briefly, who's Agri-AP Center? We're an agri-tech innovation center based in the UK. The map on the left shows with the red dots our main hubs, our main operational facilities, and the white dots are a network of farms that we work with. So these are commercial farm businesses that help to trial and test and evaluate emerging agri-tech. Our ecosystem, you can see the kind of circles there representing different parts of the agri-tech and agri-food value chain. So we work to build those connections between all of these actors in order to try to accelerate the development and adoption of agri-tech innovations. Next slide. Okay, so we decided to choose 2 different themes for our hackathon, which both center around the reduced mobility of people that was caused by the pandemic. We chose 2 themes because we wanted to represent a broader range of our membership. So the first was more on the livestock side, and so challenge 1 was for digital diagnosis, so to address the reduced mobility of vets to attend farms to conduct diagnosis and prescription and other veterinary services on farm. So challenge 1 was, can you hack a digital solution that can facilitate remote consultation and diagnosis of dairy cows? Challenge 2 was something that we've heard about from several of the other presenters this morning, addressing the shortage of seasonal labour caused by the reduced movement of people. Yeah, particularly in the horticulture sector. So challenge 2 was, can you hack or can you create a solution which automates manual processes for horticulture? Okay, next slide, please. So where we are, we began by refining our challenges and also recruiting challenge partners from industry. So for challenge 1, which was the digital diagnosis challenge, our challenge partners were Landmark Systems, which is an agricultural software company, Vet Partners, which is one of the biggest veterinary groups in the UK, Zoetis, which is the world's largest animal health and pharmaceuticals group, and the Knowledge Transfer Network, which supports innovation here in the UK. And then for challenge 2, we had the agricultural machinery manufacturer Grimmer, Bardsley, England, which is a large apple and top fruit grower, the National Farmers Union, and again, the Knowledge Transfer Network. So the role of the challenge partners was to act as judges for the hackathons and also to support winning teams as they go through their process following the hackathon. So we carried out then an engagement campaign to raise awareness of the event, which involved a bespoke website. We had launch webinars. We used PR, social media and digital marketing, as well as direct communications as well. And we were pleased to have a total of 12 formed teams sign up, 6 for each challenge, which was sort of more than we'd kind of set ourselves a goal for. So we delivered the hackathons then in September. We, obviously briefed all the teams. We assigned mentors to help them through the actual hackathon process on the day, and then on the final day, they made virtual pitches to the judging panels, and one winner was selected for each challenge. And the prize was a 12-month program of support, which we were able to offer them, involving raising their profile, supporting them with applications for funding, making connections with industry and with the rest of our network and beyond. We can support them as well through providing test beds and things like that for their technology, and coaching and mentoring. And next one, please. So in terms of the successes, we were really pleased with the caliber of the teams and the enthusiasm and dedication that they put to the challenge. So our winners there were Vet and Press on the digital diagnostics challenge, and the runners-up were Kite, and in the horticulture one it was Antibot, and the runners-up Extend Robotics. And what's been a really nice outcome is that they actually want to collaborate together. So we've been able to connect our teams so that they'll now work together as well as individually, which I think adds a lot of value and encourages more innovation. We're also really pleased with the commitment from the challenge partners, who are keen to continue to support the teams as well throughout their 12 months. And we had, for the horticulture guys, we had actually ordered a visit, organised a visit to a grower who was involved in the judging, and all of the teams involved in the hackathon were going to attend last week, which unfortunately turned out to be the first day of our second national lockdown here in the UK. So we've had to postpone that till spring, but that'll still go ahead and will be a really good opportunity for them to get more of the grower perspective. And finally, the other success I wanted to highlight was that this was our first hackathon as Agri Epicenter. So I think everybody involved, the team in putting it together, did a really good job. It was a learning curve that we had to go through, and we've done some really good reflection as well on what went well and what we would do differently perhaps next time. And I'm also looking forward to hearing from the other digital innovation hubs today to see what they also have to share that we can learn from too. My question to the audience, which we were asked to have a think about, was how else do you think we could support our winning teams? So thank you, Frank. That's it from me.
Thank you, Rebecca. Now I'd like to have the word from Daniel on the Farm to Fork hack. Please join me. Yes.
Thanks, Frank. It starts to be like Eurovision, you know. Now that we didn't have it, now we can repeat it or rehearse it during this event. Thanks for inviting me. I know your problem now because you had to invite me because of the gender balance. Obviously, all hackathons are organized by or managed by, or at least presented by ladies. So what I'm going to speak about is basically how we would like to use the hackathon and also other services and turn this COVID situation into opportunities. So thanks a lot for listening. And next slide, please. Basically, we have been focused in identifying products and services, which will be focusing on minimizing negative effects of COVID pandemic and also increase the resilience of the food production and supply system. So that was our main goal, and we were basically running very wide with accepting solutions, ideas, applications, products, and so on. We have set up basically mentorship program with 3 mentors, 2 coming from the Enterprise Europe network. And the organizers were, besides Innovation Technology Cluster and Digital Innovation Hub AgriFood, which I represent, also the daily journal Finances, which run a Slovenian ecosystem called Agrobusiness High Tech and organizing annual conferences, as well as Digital Innovation Hub Slovenia, which is more of a horizontal digital innovation hub covering whole Slovenia. Current status is that we have had an open call where we selected a number of startups and SMEs, and currently we are in a mentoring process, whereas we will of course support all those chosen in the mentoring also to be supported in a long-term acceleration process. Also, we are this hackathon is first one for us as well, so it's also a steep learning curve, as Rebecca said. So we are very motivated to learn and to continue organizing hackathons in the future. Next slide, please. So we have chosen 28 innovators and entrepreneurs from 16 countries. So it was not a regional or even national hackathon. We are very glad to have them on board. And of course, the process is not closed to the extent that, of course, they will be running a hackathon, which will be organized on 24th of November during the annual conference, New Technologies in Agriculture. That event will be is highly supported by the Slovenian Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Forestry, as well as some other players. Also, we are glad to be able to get support from the Dutch Embassy, which is a great success. And you can also, of course, you are invited to register at the event. Next slide, please. So what is our main success? Since we are a digital innovation hub developing 7 layers of services, and one of the services is also technology transfer innovation scouting, we are very glad to be able to systematically identify new solutions, startups, entrepreneurs, and work with them on a long term. So we were very glad to receive a very positive reply in this mentorship program, and of course it's still continuing. So we are looking forward to have more collaboration, and of course all other solution providers are invited to follow us and to join. Question to the audience. I was thinking in this direction. So how would you respond to the saying by Winston Churchill, you should not waste a perfectly good crisis? Since I see a lot of opportunities also coming from the situation we are currently involved in. Next slide, please. So I would finish with that. During listening to all the hackathons and pitches, I was I was also connecting with some of you, so please follow us. You can contact me anytime over those channels. And of course, you are invited to register also at the DIH agri-food platform, which is completely open for anybody to join. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Daniel, for this very swift presentation. I'd like to invite now Marta to explain the last presentation. Is it visible?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for inviting us. I hope I still have the attention of the audience. So my name is Marta. I'm going to present the Talent AgroTech Awards. Next, please. Well, as we all know, the agri-food sector has faced a huge challenge due to the health crisis, suffering an impact at different levels. So in particular, the pandemic significantly affected the distribution channels in Andalusia, in Spain, as happened with the HoReCa channel. In this scenario, many producers were subjected to elevated stresses, forcing them to reorganize the supply chain and be able to reach consumers in a different way that they did before COVID-19. So it has been also a problem for customers who had to depend more than ever on the local products to cover their needs. Well, there is a real need to sort these channels. So the challenge aims to search for agro-technological solutions in the context of the pandemic, based on sustainability and safety criteria to strengthen and to tighten the relationship between supply and demand chain and enhancing local commerce, and as well as developing efficient food distribution strategies. Well, next. The challenge was launched by a consortium of 3 Andalusian DIHs, Andalucía Agrotech, who provided us the information regarding with the problem of small producers in Andalusia during the pandemic, then with the National Pole of Digital Contents of Malaga, and the DIH ITK for Industrial Technology Knowledge, who is coordinating this challenge from the Technological Center CZMAU, from where I am presenting. This consortium is unique because of the so different backgrounds of each other. The first partner specialized in agrotechnology, Polo, which provides a great knowledge of the digital platforms, and us, CZMAU, with an industrial 4.0 metal mechanic and transport profile, but always applying our knowledge in a cross-cutting way. Okay, next. Let's talk briefly about the organization of the channel. There are 4 phases, as you can see. We received the ideas proposals, and we celebrated 2 virtual meetings to answer the questions of the participants. And then an independent group of experts and the consortium voted the 10 best ideas proposals. Now these 10 finalists are developing a bit more the ideas into a project close to the market. We are asking for a presentation, a video executable or similar, okay, application, wherever they think is good. We are so proud of the good ideas that we received in this challenge, a good number of them taking in account the pandemic situation, and we are so excited about the prize that we can provide to the winner, because we are going to give 15,000 euros and also to find a real and effective solution to the real situation that we are living now in Andalusia. I have to add that this challenge was open to any kind of participant, and this made this challenge so open and so different in many ways to others. So I will ask a question for the audience, and I will say, as a consumer, what do you really need to shop for food? I mean, if you could choose, you could choose feeling safety to make it comfortably, faster, cheaper, maybe shopping for food with more quality or in a more sustainability way. Please choose 3. If you want to know more about the challenge, I'm going to share the link, agrotexawards.eu, and you can also contact us to any questions. Thank you very much.
I should unmute. Thank you, Marta. So we have now seen 5 different presentations of a set of 13 hackathons organized within the Respond call of the SmartAgriHubs. We have seen that the different hackathons are in different stages of organization. Some of them have already been executed, and some are in the middle of organizing and up for the big event soon. We have seen consortiums of digital innovation hubs and other organizations organizing, and specific individual digital innovation hubs organizing. We have also seen different ways of organizing hackathons and different scopes, topics on which the hackathons are about. But all of them related to our joint challenge, the COVID-19. We have also seen that the scopes in terms of countries participating in the hackathons differ quite a lot. I'm making an effort to speed up this session. Apologies, doorbell. I'd like to ask the representatives of the hackathons who have just presented to respond to my next question. And I'll explain briefly. The hackathons, which were supported by SmartAgriHubs, had a dual objective. One is to provide a hackathon which supports the ecosystem. And on the other hand, the organization of the hackathon is also meant to strengthen the Digital Innovation Hub itself. And I'd like to ask the participants, how did the organization of the hackathon and the execution of the hackathon strengthen the Digital Innovation Hub? Please open up the microphone and share your response to this. Elisa, please.
Hello. Yes, I think that this was a very precious opportunity for us as a digital innovation hub to make us be more recognized by our regional and national ecosystem, improve and strengthen our connections with the key players in our regional ecosystem, and also learn about this hackathon tool, which is a very strong one to stimulate, collect fresh ideas and connect these ideas with the businesses. So I hope that this will be the first one of a long series of hackathons.
Thank you, Elisa. Hanna, you have been organizing the event before already. This is a standard procedure, so to speak. What did you take away from doing this specific issue?
To ensure that. I would like to start from the different way. We use the Digital Innovation Hub for this hackathon, the Plan for All Digital Innovation Hub, and through this hackathon, we
enlarge the community around this digital innovation hub, and also we provide all the results and tools that are developed during this hackathon through this digital innovation hub. So we allow the registrants of Digital Innovation Hub to download the data, to download the tools, and we make it public.
Very interesting. Thank you, Hannah. Rebecca, you have already executed the hackathon. You found two winners and some runners up, and you already start matchmaking. As a Digital Innovation Hub, what did you take away from this specific hackathon?
Well, firstly, was probably just the process of putting the hackathon on. It's something that we would also like to do again. So, you know, that in itself was a success, and I think has added to our capabilities. Also, it helped to raise our profile. It got picked up, you know, quite well within sort of the industry and the industry media over here. And it also gives us an opportunity to engage differently with the agri-tech community, and also to show how we can help to support SMEs or startups as they continue to develop their concepts that they presented in the hackathon. So I think in a lot of ways it helps to sort of strengthen our capabilities in that way.
Oh, great to hear that. Thank you, Rebecca. Marta, you have organized this hackathon in a consortium of multiple organizations. I can imagine this would be quite challenging, but how did it strengthen you as a Digital Innovation Hub?
It was definitely some of the better things of this challenge, to have the opportunity to work with other DIHs with a completely different background. And it was easy because we had every single week meeting, and I think it's easier if every partner is always free to have this kind of conversations and very fluently. And of course, from Polo, we learned a lot about the digital platforms, because they have experience about it. And from Andalucía Agrotech, we had the opportunity to know about the problems that the small producers had in Andalucía. And I think in Europe, many small producers have the same problem. So I think definitely it was a successful consortium.
Thank you, Marta. And last but not least, Daniel, you have organized this hackathon with a quite pan-European perspective. How did that strengthen you as a Digital Innovation Hub?
Well, I think it's a great success. I would like to applaud also the way how Smart AgriHubs have delivered that open call, because you have made it somehow flexible. That way we could incorporate our basic services into such a interesting project, starting from awareness creation that we do, technology transfer and innovation scouting. Then we have mentorship and training, which we are also providing to those applicants, and of course also trying to help them getting financing, funding, support, you know, networking, ecosystem development. So all this is packed in one single kind of couple of months action with startups and entrepreneurs, and of course SMEs. That is a very valuable asset that was brought into the Digital Innovation Hub.
Thank you all for contributing today. I think it was very insightful how you did the hackathons in different ways, also learning from each other, learning from the collaborations that you have, learning from the process that you ran through, and I think this is an ideal showcase for the rest of the Digital Innovation Hubs to enjoy being in this community of Digital Innovation Hubs in Smart AgriHubs. Without further ado, I see Edwin already sharing his microphone, and this is, I think, a good opportunity to move to the next session, session 3, collaboration with other European initiatives. Thank you all for listening into session 2. Here's to Edwin. Thank you.
Bye-bye, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you very much, Frank, and thank you all for joining session 3. First of all, I have to apologize that we are very late with this session, but I do hope that you still have some time to listen to these 3 very interesting stories. My name is Edwin Hecker. I'm managing partner of Schutland Partners, and I'm involved in SmartAgriHubs and responsible for communication and dissemination. So welcome to this 3rd session, and this session is about how COVID affected our way of working, not in SmartAgriHubs, but in different projects. And the purpose of this session is to learn from other projects. And I'm very pleased that we have Stefan Rilling from Atlas, Kees Lokhorst from Agro-Food, and Eleftheria Iladio from Smart Bear project to take us with their experiences. Maybe they invented a new way of working. How do they contact with their network during COVID? And is IoT helpful in this time for making contact? So the purpose of this session is to learn from each other, and that's why I would now like to give the floor to Stefan Rilling from the Atlas project. Please, Stefan, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me now and see me. Seems perfect, perfect. So thank you very much for the invitation. So I will shortly present how the Atlas project is impacted by this very small microparticle, which gained a lot of attention in the last months. So we have, of course, some serious impact caused by COVID-19 and what this impact exactly means, and what mitigation measures we have for now introduced. I will show this within the next slides. I'm not sure if I can move them forward. Great. So to understand where these impacts of COVID-19 are, you have to understand how the project is structured. And if you see the work packages 5 and 8, you see that these work packages are about machines, about sensors, about hardware, so to say, and work package 8 about pilot studies. And these 2 work packages have now the issues that there are serious travel restrictions between the partners' countries and also inside the partners' countries, and how this affects the work is shown on the next slides. I'm not sure if I can click forward or if you do this, but as you see, we have 13 agricultural operations available in the consortium, distributed over whole Europe, I would say. Different types of farms, different things planted there, grown there. And on these test sites, this is on the next slide, we will conduct all our pilot studies. And as you see here, these pilot studies located all over Europe, there need to be a lot of work done on these pilot studies or on these sites in order to make the use cases running, to install the technology there, This means we need to first we need to develop that technology, and when it comes to hardware, it's usually you need some facilities to develop this. So you have laboratories where you can build sensor platforms, robots. Yeah, you need to go to kind of an office, so to say. And if this is not possible anymore due to COVID restrictions, due to shutdowns, you have a problem because then the work cannot be conducted. And also, if you want to bring technology to the field, yeah, you have to go to the field. And in that multi-partner setup, it means that several partners from different countries need to travel to a field, mount the technology, take the technology into operation, test it. So this involves some physical presence, and that's the main reason why Atlas is affected heavily by COVID. It's due to these travel restrictions. So what we did in the beginning of this crisis, we needed to get a clear picture of which work packages are affected, what part of Atlas is affected, and how bad the situation is for the whole project. And what we did is we made questionnaires, sent these to all project partners to collect the information. And I asked all the partners to assess the impact of COVID-19 on the work. And you see the results here on these three diagrams here. So we have some partners really badly affected. We have partners only slightly affected, and that's the good news. We have some partners which are not affected at all. Also, regarding the impact on the tasks, luckily we have a significant part of the partners say that all the goals will be achieved in Atlas. But we also have a part of the tasks where the goals will only be partially reached. So this, on the first hand, it looks quite good, and that Atlas is not so badly affected. But if you look at the impact of the affection of Atlas on the person months, you see that although it's only 15 or 13% of the partners have reported a heavy impact, that's almost 1/3 of the person months. And also, if you combine with the slightly affected person months, so it's 2/3 of the project which suffers from that situation. And the most common effects, as already said, are travel restrictions. Of course, we cannot go to the test sites. Then we have that short-time work, which is in German Kurzarbeit, and it's something which exists also in other parts of Europe. So people are just not allowed to go to office or allowed to work. Then most of the companies from the partners institutions have to work from the home office. So all the processes within the companies needed to be adapted. That starts from the administration processes and ends with the management processes. So that caused a serious impact and needed a lot of reorganization work to be conducted. So as I said, no access to laboratories, facilities, that also affects the work. And then, I don't think I tell something new here. We all had to get used to a lot of online meetings, and this, I mean, that was not such a huge problem from my point of view, but there needed to be a process established, and we needed to get used to it. So that also took some time from the project. So next slide, please. Yeah, what did we do? It was sure that we had to do something to mitigate these impacts. So first thing we could achieve is that we agreed together with the project officers that a extension by 6 months would help to achieve the goals of the project. Then we did a serious adaptation of the work plan, a lot of shifting of timing shifts of tasks and deliverables. But these actions, they do not really solve the problem of the COVID-19 impact. It just gives us a little bit more time. So the big questions are still open and not completely answered. Is how to organize pilot studies, how to organize demo events. So what we want to do in Atlas is we want to establish centers of competence where we have permanent demonstrators for all kinds of technology we are developing there. And yeah, how would we organize such events, such centers of competence, such innovation hubs? This is still something where I cannot give a definite answer today. We are still planning and thinking about how to do it best. And from my opinion, we have to be very flexible here and react on short notice, because the situation might change very, very quickly. So one solution is what I call to ride the wave. If you look at the Corona case numbers and the waves, they are increasing and falling. So it's really, you have to, if the numbers are low, you have to act, because this causes or this relates to lesser travel restrictions and more opportunities to do something. So, and it's similar to surfing. You have to get speed in order to catch the wave. So if the numbers are low, you have to really react quickly, do the work which you can do, and wait for the next lockdown to come. Other things we are thinking about is that we have to rely on hybrid events, so that only a limited number of people can go to a specific place. They do the things which can only be done with a physical presence, and we invite stakeholders, interest groups via video events. So, and that will also involve exploiting the possibilities of video live streaming. Maybe you can do field demonstrations with a good live streaming infrastructure, which maybe gives you not the real world experience, but something close to. And maybe we can learn from the trends which have been emerging the last years. If you think about live streaming on YouTube, the technology, I would say, is there to do this with not too much effort. So you do not need a complete TV team today to establish a live streaming session. And yeah, that's for now all I can report about what we have done. And I'm curious what ideas the other projects present today. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Stefan, for your sharing your experience from Atlas, and also showing us that you have to adapt, but not for all the same parts in the same way. We also have a poll. You gave us 2 questions, and we want to raise the questions in the poll before we move forward to case Lockhorst. The first question is, do you expect COVID-19 to be gone within 2021? And please select a yes or a no. Okay, thank you very much.
Optimists and pessimists we have here in the audience.
Yeah. Okay, then we go to the second question of the poll. And that is, will COVID-19 change the way we work and organize research projects permanently, even if it is gone? So will the change be not only temporarily, but will it be for a longer period? Yes or no? I see a lot of yes. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Stefan, for your, please stay with us. Then we go to the second speaker, and that's Kees Lokhorst from Agro-Food. Kees, you have the floor.
Yes, thanks for this invitation to present a little bit about our experiences of the project Agro-Food. The official name of the project is Boosting the Adoption of Robotic Technologies in the European Agri-Food Sector. And so you can see in the next slide what our objective is, and it is like SmartAgriHub. Agro-Food is also having the ambition to build a pan-European network of digital innovation hubs, but then dedicated to the robotic concept and also dedicated to the agri-food sector. And also we have to build that network and show that also robotics is still of relevance. And indeed, the COVID situations brings us more into the situations that servitization and robotics will be part of the future as we expected, but it's coming now into more advanced way towards us. Show the next slide, please, so that we can at least share some insights from the project, because I don't want to tell too much. And then our project started last year in June, so we are now in the beginning of the second year of our project. Of course, COVID brings us a lot of uncertainty to everybody in his personal life, but also to the agri-food sector and to the companies who really have to deal with it. And in such crisis situations, it's also important to provide valid and trustworthy information to participants, because not everybody is meeting and they have to get the information in a different way. So looking to the right hand side, being in the first year, at the end of the first year of the project, and it is a 4 years project, we still have time to manage the consequences of the COVID crisis. And of course, you couldn't foresee how long it will happen, and it still until now. Every half year you have to change your adaptations towards it. Also working from home, as you can see on the camera, it's already now taking 8 months, and I expect that it will last until spring, at least. So we checked whether we need, as a project, force majeure to elaborate already a little bit on the COVID. But at that moment, we were in the phase of having building the network, having our first open call on innovation experiments. So those could be done already in a situation by using these digital meetings. So indeed, we postponed our open call that was supposed to end at the end of May, with an additional 3 months to give the SMEs over summertime a little bit more time to think of what might be the consequences, and should I register to the open call and then take part of it. So we closed it on September 1st, and as you have seen in the open calls in SmartAgriHub, also our first open call on innovation experiments attracted more than 300 different SMEs in 93 different proposals. So there is a lot of activity and urgency to collaborate and to work to take part of these open calls. So that's what we also can see. Where the practical issues are, that is on the innovation experiments, like the previous Atlas project, where you have to work together in practical situations. And we also started the project with 7 initial innovation experiments where practical experimentation is done on robotics. And there you see that the innovation experiments are asking for a bit more time, because it is really problematic to bring the people to the experimentation facilities. And the longer that COVID will last, the more problematic that will be. So I think we still have time, and also the next phase of innovation experiments that will start in December. And I think, well, there might have a little bit of hindrance of the crisis, but in starting up, in planning their experiments, I don't see a real big issue currently, but that's based on timing. What we did as project, we started indeed to have all our meetings in a digital way. Also, the project meeting, we organized a digital agri-food week with every morning 1.5 hours of dedicated webinars, seminars, and during a whole week, so that you don't take too long from people, but indeed to give them information in organizing webinars, organizing newsletters, to bring that information to them. And we are also now working on thinking of different communication strategies. We didn't foresee in the original project of using podcasts, blogs, a video channel on YouTube. So those are things we are now looking at in being additional possibilities to connect people in such a network. And I think that's the experience I have so far. So I'm based on the status or on the stage we are as project. I'm still optimistic that we will survive, and then the COVID crisis indeed urges the need for solutions also from the robotic side. So thanks for having this opportunity.
Well, thank you, Kees, very much for your information, and also sharing the difference between the validation of information, but also the practical issues during the innovative experiments. Thank you for that. We also have 2 questions in the poll from your side. So please give me the first one. And that is, which communication tools support the trust of building most? And that has also to do with your issue of validation. So please select one or more of those tools. I see many in social media.
I don't see the results, but you can send it later.
Yeah. Social media is still number 1. Okay. Thank you very much. Let's go to the second question in the poll. And that is the question, will COVID-19, and then select one of the following, stimulate the national innovations and cooperations on robotics, or stimulate international cooperation on robotic innovations, or delay the international robotic innovations. So please select one.
Because one of the restrictions is traveling. This might influence.
Yeah. Okay. So the second one is number 1 at the moment. Okay, thank you very much. We will send the details of the polls after this meeting to everybody and share it.
Okay.
Also to you. Thank you very much once more. Then we go to the third speaker, Eleftheria Iliado. I'm not sure whether I pronounce your name properly.
Well, it was a really good first try. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm really happy that we also have a project outside the agri sector with us. So maybe we can learn something of your experiences. Please go ahead.
Yes, exactly. This was our concern as well at first, but then we decided that this is the best opportunity to share some ideas on a common challenge, which is the COVID-19 pandemic. So I would like to thank you for this invitation and the opportunity to participate to this great event. My name is Eleftheria Iliadou. I'm an ENT doctor, and I'm currently working with the rest of the National Kapodistrian University of Athens team on the clinical coordination Smart Bear project. Next slide, please. So just a brief summary of what Smart Bear is. We're talking about a big data research project which targets more than 5,000 seniors in 6 different European countries: Romania, Greece, Italy, France, Spain, and Portugal. Each participant will have at least 2 of the medical conditions that I'm mentioning: cardiovascular diseases, hearing loss, frailty, mild cognitive disorders, mild depression, or balance disorders. And according to their medical profile, they will receive at least 5 smart devices, which will communicate and interoperate through Smart Bear platform and Smart Bear mobile application. The main goal is the enhancement of the self-management of seniors' everyday health challenges, and at the same time, from our point of view, gain of important insight, important epidemiological information on the aforementioned medical conditions. Next slide, please. Next slide. Great. So we're mostly targeting seniors living independently at home, while a smaller proportion of the target population will live in collective structures. Next slide. Now, a brief summary of what we're actually doing with the devices that we're going to provide. We are monitoring specific parameters, social, physiological, biological, etc., that are correlated with the medical conditions that I have already mentioned. Through specific data analytics and algorithms, we're going to try to provide the most personalized interventions possible through the provision of personal alerts to medical experts, diet advice, physical activity applications, adjustment of hearing aid usage and configuration, serious gaming in the case of cognitive disorders, etc. Next slide. So now concerning the impact of COVID-19 in our project, of course, we are a health-related project. We could not be unaffected by this new health challenge. First of all, we had to be sure that we can meet our goals in the current timeline. So what we have done is to actually see if we can be ready in the current timeline, or if we need to extend the project procedures by specific time period. What we are planning to do in case we need an extension of 6 to 12 months is to use this time for the pre-recruitment procedures and the pilot preparation, but also for the actual piloting phase. To start with, before the start of the actual pilots, we are considering of having a smaller scale pilot in the territories where the COVID incidence is not that high, that does not permit this, and to see like this, to be able to detect any flaws or any needs for modifications to our core project. What we are also thinking of doing, we're designing the project to do it like this, is to have a checkpoint during the piloting phase in order to check if the recruitment and if the recruitment rates are the ones we have initially targeted. If this is not the case, the mitigation plans are various. We think of enhancing the pre-recruitment or advertisement campaigns, to engage neighboring sites, to shorten the monitoring period of each participant. Now we're targeting at 12 months of monitoring of each user. We could go to 6 months if 12 months is not feasible. And of course, to see if the 12-month extension that we may demand needs any further adjustment. Next slide, please. Great. So as I have already mentioned, actually all SmartBear procedures needed to be adapted to the new COVID-19 conditions. So concerning the pre-recruitment phase, of course, we could not have the large-scale events that we were aiming for in order to create awareness to the community. We had to switch in open-air venues, in smaller scale events, even in online events, and the same for the recruitment phase, where many of the activities, the actions that have to be undertaken during the recruitment sessions are considered to happen through an online platform, of course, with respect to GDPR. Now, even for the installation of devices, we are trying to minimize the time that is needed for the installation of devices and the training of the users by pre-setting and preparing all the equipment that is needed in the laboratory, and then each participant will just receive a kit with all the devices preset and already with an ensured interoperability between them. And now, concerning the users and the clinicians training, we are switching towards online sessions and online material that will be available throughout the project, the whole project. And of course, we're aiming to set up a help desk in each pilot that will support the project throughout the whole pilot period. Next slide, please. Now, in order to comply with the European guidelines, we are supporting data sharing and inter-project communication through our collaboration with other large-scale projects, health-related large-scale projects on a common COVID-19 strategy. I'm talking about the working group on use cases. We're also considering using the COVID tracing applications and COVID risk calculator applications through the SmartBear platform and application, as long as this complies with national legislation and the GDPR. And finally, we are enhancing the awareness through updates on safety guidelines or other pandemic-related news by extracting open access data and send them to through the SmartBear application to our users. Next slide, please. And now, at a more clinical level, we have an amendment of our initial protocol by adding two parameters, the oxygen saturation and the body temperature, that are already identified as biomarkers in the case of COVID-19. So we are including this beside the already 6 clinical conditions that I have mentioned in my first slide. And at the same time, by making usage of an official COVID-19 related symptoms questionnaire, we're gaining insight on the whole trajectory of the disease through the self-reporting of our users. Next slide, please. So we're a health-related project. We cannot omit the COVID-19 indirect sequelae. So through our project, we are enhancing the physical activity in and outside house, the monitoring of depression and post-COVID-19 stress syndrome, and of course the safe social interactions, even during these social distancing critical conditions. Next slide, please. So all these new features had been added in concrete use cases and with the collaboration of clinicians and technical partners who have elicited the clinical and technical requirements, but we have to understand that this is a dynamic situation and that actually it's a work that has to be always adapted to the new conditions and to what is happening in all the involved countries. And this is for us a big challenge because we have at the same time to design our project, but at the same time be sure that what we are designing is also feasible and practical. Next slide, please. I would just like to thank all my colleagues for this collective work, and thank you for your attention.
Well, thank you very much, Lefteria. It's good to see what kind of measures and actions you took from SmartBear during COVID, and also nice to see the pre-COVID and the post-COVID period. Also for you, we have 2 questions in the poll. Can I have the first question, please? And that is, which smart off-the-shelf devices are empowering citizens with their everyday health challenges during COVID-19? You can select one or more of the following: smartphone and apps, the smartwatch, smart medical devices, home sensors, or other. Please go ahead. Many votes go to the smartphone and apps. Okay, thank you very much. Let's go to the second question in the poll. Increased information flow is one of the principal steps towards a common EU anti-COVID strategy. What next for the EU's role? Select one of the following. So this time only one. Multidisciplinary synergies of large-scale research projects. Design of a common strategy among different stakeholders. Common protocols and plans to overcome research challenges. Harmonization of definitions and data from various sources, or other. So please make your choice. Okay, thank you very much. So we've come to the end of this session number 3. What you have seen is because of COVID-19, we lost opportunities to execute the research projects we were used to, but it also brought us some new possibilities. And I think with these 3 example projects from outside SmartAgriHubs, you have showed what possibilities are. And even with these IoT solutions and digital communication, you showed that there is still a lot possible for these large-scale projects within the EU. We do hope that these 3 projects stimulate you in your further steps during but also after COVID. The answers from the polls, we will send them afterwards, and then I hand over the mic to George Beers.
Okay, thanks, Edwin. And especially thanks to all of you for staying with us. Sorry for running out of time, but we shared so much information. So thanks all to all presenters, to all moderators and organizers. I'll keep it very short. I think what we have seen today, what we witnessed today, is a demonstration of a very active ecosystem. I think we saw a lot of good initiatives, a broad overview of what is going on. We have been provided with an overview of these challenges, but also of the potential solutions by the hackathons and the solutions, the actual solutions. So it's I think we got a nice overview of the activities that are going on right now in relation and how this ecosystem responded to the COVID pandemic. However, most impressive for me, at last, for me, is the number of organizations and persons that have been on the screen today. It's amazing to see how many people and organizations have been activated in just a couple of months. And this, for me, it stands for a very active network and maybe more for a very dedicated ecosystem. And I'm in particular proud of that, because this is exactly what SmartAgriHubs is standing for and what it is about. So I'm very happy and proud of what we have seen today. Just one last remark on the future. We still have open calls coming up. At least we have one open call, which is continuously open. It will be open until July 2021, or if we have run out of budget some months earlier. The call is for funding digital innovation hubs, and I really hope that the digital innovation hubs that were with us today have seen a lot of ideas, inspiration that they can pick up for preparing proposals for our open call. The open call is the selection in the open calls is done in batches. So last week we closed a batch, but the next one is coming up early next year. So I really hope to receive a lot of active digital innovation hubs that come up with sparkling proposals with a lot of energy in it. And I hope that the energy level of the open call will be as good as we had in the previous open calls. That's it for me. Thanks to all of you. Thanks for listening to us. Thank you for sharing ideas. And I wish you a very nice day and stay healthy, please. Okay, bye-bye.